Monday, March 23rd, and the S&P 500 closed up over 1%. This weekend, Saturday, the US president said that he will bomb Iran's energy infrastructure, and then Monday he withdrew that threat and said there were good talks with Iran, but Iran said that we had no such talks. Okay, guys, talk is cheap, all right? Only actions matter. Someone's lying here, so let's talk about actions. I want to go beyond the high energy prices we've been talking about. We've been talking about all the first, second level effects and the effects on petrochemical manufacturing, the cost of plastics and packaging, food costs and shortages due to fertilizer, the helium byproducts used to make semiconductors, shipping and transportation costs. All of those things matter for sure. But I want to go past that. Okay. Minimal attention is being given right now to the effect of all this and the actions that are being taken by global central banks. Let's go back 3 weeks. The Reserve Bank of Australia said that because of oil inflation concerns, they were considering hiking interest rates. And then 1 week ago, they did so. They hiked the interest rate by a quarter point, 25 basis points. And last week, that same time last week, before the Fed met, the US Federal Reserve, before they met, there was a 100% chance that there would be at least one interest rate cut in 2026. And then the Fed met on Wednesday. And then right after the meeting, that 100% dropped to 50%. The very next day, Thursday, that 50% was 0%. And then the day after that, Friday, there was a 40% chance that there would be a rate hike in 2026. All of that happened in 1 week, okay? The Bank of England left rates unchanged, but said that they're ready to raise rates due to rising oil prices and the subsequent effects. On that news, the 10-year gilt yield jumped to the highest since 2008, 18 years. The gilt is the same as the US Treasury, by the way. Interesting, just a side note, they call it the gilt because the original certificates were gilded in gold leaf to give a sense of security and trust, which is why they're called gilt. But same thing as the US Treasury. Also, the European Central Bank revised 2026 inflation expectations from 1.9% inflation up to 2.6, a giant jump, also lowering the GDP outlook from 1.2% to 0.9%. On that news, the ECB swaps market is now pricing in 3 rate hikes for the year. German yields, French yields, highest since 2011. Japan and India have now shifted to a hawkish outlook, and only China maintains a loose monetary policy because they're completely subsidizing growth in manufacturing, and they need to ensure that at all costs. Okay, so besides the central banks, let's talk about JP Morgan. Let's talk about Goldman Sachs, both which raised their odds of rate increases. Analysts from Reuters, from Mizuho, predict worldwide rate hikes as well. So what matters to us? What matters to stocks? All right. The US 10-year Treasury note. This is the gold standard of inflation gauges. Okay. On your ticker, you should be able to find it with the ticker TNX, the 10-year. And over the last month, from the end of February, it has jumped 9%. No one's pointing this out right now. It went from 3.96 to 4.33. And there's a reason that it's called the world's most important number. All right. It's the benchmark for the world financial system. It moves everything. It moves mortgages, it moves 401ks, auto loans, student loans, and of course, like we said, inflation. So here's the thing to watch on that. Here's what I'm watching. If that enters 4.33 right now, but if it enters that range between 4.5% and 5% because of high prices and because of slow growth, there is a definitely a high probability that stocks are going to be sold to buy that safety and that guarantee of the higher return, 4.5%, 5% on the 10-year Treasury. So I just want to keep it simple and talk about what I feel like is not getting enough attention right now, and that is the worldwide central banks' reactions to oil. We've talked about all of the ripple effects. Well, this is the biggest one of all right now in my mind. And just want to close on this, that for the last year, the market has been buying the dip. Okay. Retail traders have been fearless, which is awesome. I love it. But I want to remember 2022. All right. We don't have the same level of inflation, but we do have new factors. And the inflation itself could be much more widespread. All right. So just a reminder that from the end of 2021 through September of 2022, the S&P 500 fell 25% from peak to trough. All right. And I just want to remember that market pullbacks are normal. So right now, for me, this is a time to be safe. It's a time for extra caution. And like we talked about, I want to wear a belt and suspenders right now. So there you go. That's the simple thought for today. I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Be well until then. A couple of days. See you then. Bye-bye.